your experts in business throughout North Texas. 620 AM, KEXB.
All right, welcome back. Now, I always use on this show this hypothetical example. If I was to own a small business here, I use the example of a flower shop. I just do. I always say, hey, if I owned a flower shop in downtown McKinney, this is what I would do. Well, I don't own one, but a good friend of mine does. Welcome in Brad from Petals and Stems Florists, located right there in Dallas, and he's a friend of the show, and he's got a great competition coming up at the end of this month that I'm so proud to be a part of. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And, Brian, every time when you say that, you think about your scenarios of owning a flower shop. I keep thinking, well, maybe one day I'm going to call you. You'll be the first person I call when I'm ready to sell my business.
And then I will be the first one to run out of this studio. I say that jokingly. Okay, first, I want to ask you, how's biz right now?
The last several years we've had some, amazing growth in the flower business, and starting in March, it was a little bit of a slowdown. This summer, typically summer is slower for florists, but overall it's good. It's just I think the demand's not there as much right now, and I contribute summer with I think a lot of people are traveling and doing things like that.
Sure, okay, but overall, good year so far.
Oh yes.
There you go. What's a hot flower right now, by the way? Well, what are you guys putting together?
Hydrangeas and tulips and roses are just always, when people call in, those are flowers that they always will say, do you have? And I think those are really popular, and I think that's, what a lot of people, especially hydrangeas, people always mention that. And I think that, they're used to, because in the garden and those big, they were big flowers. And at one time they were, maybe 10 years ago, they were a lot more expensive, and they've been now more mass produced. So there's a lot more of them out there at a better price. So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Okay, let's talk about this floral design challenge that I'm a part of later on this month. Matter of fact, I'm broadcasting live from your place. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Perhaps we'll have some fun in that cooler, which, by the way, it seems like as we get into the heat of the summer, that cooler, do you find employees like hiding out in that thing during the day to cool off?
Every once in a while, I would do that if I was running around here or I was outside helping load a van. I would go in the cooler for a little bit and cool off. But they're kind of used to it, going in and out of it. But it's definitely something. And then when customers come in, they're like, "Oh, this is great."
Oh yeah. I remember the days of having a walk-in refrigerator freezer in my business in the hot summer days in North Carolina. Man, I would hide out in there and cool off for 5-10 minutes. Felt good. Okay, this design challenge, I'm doing it with Bevs and Ash as well, and a couple other local people of some note. Let's talk about this challenge and what's the thought process and the motivation behind it.
Sure. So this is going to be my 7th year now, but basically what the Floral Design Challenge is we ask 6 individuals who are not in the flower business to come to the shop and create a floral arrangement. And in doing so, we donate a $100 donation to the charity that you're choosing to represent. We have the flowers here for you, and we have floral designers here to help coach you. You create the floral arrangement. We have the video then edited and put out for voting. And the winner with the most votes receives the $1,000 donation to the charity that they chose. And so, again, this is our 7th year, and it's been real fun. And just to have people come out and, create flowers and support charities, and it's just been a great, overwhelming response from my customers to people who are voting from, when, say, you're representing a charity that, your friends are voting for you or that charity's voting for you. and it's just been a great, overwhelming response.
It has been. And I've gotten a lot of response just from people on Facebook that saw the postings that I was a part of it, and they were like, hey, that's pretty cool. Like, how did you get roped into that, Roped in meaning in a good term. And I explained to them, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny, too, because a lot of males that I typically approach are like kind of going, well, I don't know if I can do it, or
Sure.
I'm like, just watch a couple of YouTube videos. And I'm telling you, we'll give you some good coaching. And I said, and if it doesn't turn out as not that great, just ask for some sympathy votes there. But I'll tell you, I'll tell you, every year I've been impressed with what people have put together.
There you go. Brad Weinstein joining us from Petals and Stems Florist, located right down in Dallas. Now, it's a family business, and I'm a big supporter of family businesses, and I talked about this at the top of the show. A friend of the show, Linda McMahon's in charge of the Small Business Administration for the White House, and it's the backbone of our economy is guys like you.
It is. Yeah, my father started the business 45 years ago. We just celebrated our 45th year, and he is still involved in it today.
Yeah, and it feels good to be able to get into something that your parents were involved with. I was saying earlier that I do a show on our sister station, The Word, called Believers in Business, and one of the things I interviewed a guy today was about family business, and it's a biblical principle that it's okay to have a family business. Matter of fact, it's really encouraged, but it's also encouraged to make money, and it's not a bad thing to make money, and it's even a better thing if you make money. It's within your family, and you do what you're doing. You're giving it to charity. That's the wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And what I like, my father came from a retail background. His parents worked in the First Zale store in Wichita Falls, Texas, and so he kind of, when he brought me in, I learned, from him that, there was no, favoritism in the family. He was harder on me than he was the other, the other employees, not going, oh, this is my baby and take care of him type thing. So he kind of paved the way for me. And when, in years past, if we had disagreements or this and that, the second we walked out the door, and if we were at a family dinner, it was like, that was work. This is family. So that's, I think, one main thing I have to tell people about, when you're in business with your family, you have to, when you leave work, let all that go. And that's been helpful for me these years.
Hey, let's talk about who's involved in this Floral Challenge, and what's my competition look like?
Sure. So Jim Cardenas is a friend who is somebody that I reached out to, and he is representing St. Paul the Apostle School, and it's a Catholic school here in Richardson. And then we have Joanne Goldblatt, who is representing it's her foundation. Her son passed away, and she started a foundation called the Ryan Goldblatt Foundation. And what the foundation does is all the support that she had when her son, I believe it was a cancer, that helped her, children's, medical, and all the different organizations. So she raises funds and gives back to those organizations that helped her. Frances Cruz, she's representing the Carrollton Police Officers Association. I'm involved with the Police Officers Association. They put on a great father-daughter dance every year in Carrollton. And so we do the corsages and boutonnieres for them, and they're very active. But they've done this like 10 years now, and it just raises funds for their association. But it's just amazing, these father-daughter dances. I mean, they probably have 600 to 700 people coming in attendance, or more. So they're very active. Bev Adams, she's representing Big Brother, Big Sisters, and then Jake Pavelka, who we all know as from The Bachelor a few years ago. He's representing the Children's Cancer Fund. And then we have Brian Glenn, who we all know and adore, is representing Parental Care Ministries, which Brian, you kind of shared with me about them, but Can you tell me a little bit more?
Parental Care Ministries is based out of Tyler, and they have they kind of sponsor some facilities in Uganda, Africa. One is a couple schools and some orphan homes and things like that. And so we're going over there to work with them and Glory FM, which is the radio station there in Uganda. So all the money raised will go to put roofs on churches there in Uganda.
So you're going there?
I'm going there on November 17th through the 27th. Oh. Yeah.
Are you going to do your show there?
I actually thought about it, but due to the time difference and I would say the unreliable internet that might be existing there, I don't know if I could pull that off. But
what are your listeners going to do without you?
I don't know. They'll probably find somebody better than me to sit in this chair. That's what they'll probably do. But I'm going to send reports in so that whoever fills in can get a daily report of what I've done. I can do that, but I just don't rely on the live aspect of it yet. I don't know. Sure. Perhaps. I mean, maybe that might change. I don't know. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll kind of wrap up this conversation if you don't mind hanging with us through the break.
Sure.
Okay. Give us a few minutes. We'll come right back. Coming up, we'll talk about the Cal exit. This movement to secede from the Union, California. I've got a lot of reasons why I'd like to see that happen, but there's some consequences to a lot of that. So we'll dig a little deeper in the 5 o'clock hour. Brad Weinstein is joining us on the show with Petals and Stems Florist. We're talking about this pretty unique thing coming up, this floral design competition that's I'll be a part of. I think, is it on the 23rd of the month? Did I get that date correct?
That's when we're filming it.
That's right.
And then it's going to go live, though. The video will go out live on September 5th.
There you go.
And then it'll be live out there for a week. So basically, that's when, on 5th, when it goes live on our website, there'll be a video, and then you go and vote. And so that's when the contestants and we start soliciting and asking for votes.
Yeah. How many, the response, do you remember what it was last year as far as the amount of people voting? And is there any inside tips you can give me to make sure I get the most votes?
Sure. In the past several years, it's been in the votes in the thousands. I think sometimes the best thing is a lot of people, and you post on Facebook, but a lot of people, message their whole inbox and ask for people to vote for them. I think another thing that is great is to get the organization to support you as well. For their supporters and their employees, and ask them to go out and try to solicit votes for you as well.
Now, I think Bevs and Ash have a slight advantage that there's two of them as part of that one team. I've got my eyes on those ladies. I think they are the front runners right now to win this thing. Jake kind of scares me a little bit. It's got that whole Bachelor thing going on, and he could have been he could tap into all his previous dates to help them vote for him. I'm going to do my best. I'll do my best.
It was funny because one year a real estate agent went out and she got like 1,000 on her own. I was really super impressed. So I don't know. I think it just depends on how hard you want to work it.
There you go. Before we let you go, give us any contact information. We've got what's the next big holiday that we need to be sending flowers? I know you should send flowers just because, but is there any other holiday that's best suited?
Sure. Definitely, during the holidays, like the 4th of July, people will have functions at their home or things like that, so which we just passed. So, but I would think, really the next major holiday, our semi-holidays, like Grandparents' Days in September. That's something that, is that a flower sending holiday. And then, I think once you get into the fall, you just start getting all sorts of things like in October, Boss's Day. Boss's Day has become a pretty large floral holiday, at least for us, sending out, baskets and plants and flowers for that holiday. And then it's just crazy because as soon as fall hits, you get it. You get the from the, like I said, Boss's Day all the way to, Thanksgiving and keep going forward.
Nice. We'd certainly appreciate your time. Best website for someone to place an order?
Sure, petalsandstems.com, Petals, petals and stems.com.
All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. And I'll keep using that hypothetical example that if I was in the floral business, this is what I would do.
Maybe for now on, though, if I own Petals and Stems.
There you go. That's what I'm going to say. If I was the owner of Petals and Stems, I would let everybody off on Fridays.
There you go.
I don't know if that would work, though. Because Friday's a big day for you, right?
Mondays and Fridays are pretty busy.
Weekends? No, closed?
Yeah, I mean, Saturday we have quite a few deliveries, but we close earlier because of weddings and things like that. But Saturday, we send out quite a few deliveries, but not so much phone activity.
And people should send flowers just because, right?
Oh, definitely. There's many reasons, but yeah, just because. Just because.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. You're probably getting ready to get on out of there, aren't you?
Sure thing. If the phones ring, though, I'm still here. So.
Oh, yeah. That's how you operate. Very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good evening.
You too.